Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stampers Club. I'm Karen Tralfa, and today I have a really pretty little fall fun fold card for you with a little bit of a different stamp set. It's a two-step stamp set, so maybe you'll even learn something today. Let me show you what we're going to be making. So this is the Artful Amaryllis stamp set, and it is a two-step stamp. But look at this really pretty flower that this makes. And of course, lots of color combinations that you could have, but this is also a little bit of a fun fold. So we have a little bit of a different layout here. And this comes with a matching die set. But the unique part about this die set is this is the die that you need to cut the image out for the flower. All the rest of these parts and pieces are for you to actually be able to use to make like individual flowers, right? So you don't even have to have a stamp for that. You can just use the stem and the leaves and the different layers of the petals. And then of course, there's a couple of little bit of element pieces too. So a nice fun set. I'll certainly be making something with this in the future. But for right now, we're just going to be using this one little die for the card we're going to make. And let me show you how I made this one. So I started out with a piece of Azure Afternoon cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. But I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Okay. So if I had the 8 1/2 or the 4 1/4 by 11, I basically cut off 2 3/4 of an inch. So where is that cardstock at? I'm missing a piece of cardstock. Huh. That's weird. This one will work. I think this will work. Yeah. So if you have this piece of cardstock here is 4 1/4 by 11, and then I cut off 2 3/4, and I scored it at I was supposed to score this at 5 1/2. Score this at 5 1/2. Do it right, Karen. Okay, so scored at 5 1/2. And what that does is I'm going to make this little inside flat here, right? Has anybody done that? Here, let me flatten out. I'm going to flatten out that score line. Won't even notice it. Perfect. Disappeared, all gone. You know, mistakes happen when we're crafting, and that's not a problem. It's all good. But I'm going to start with doing that, and I'm going to put on the inside of my card a piece of basic white cardstock, because we see part of the inside, so we want to make sure that we make it pretty, right? Got to make it pretty. And there we go. Put that in the inside because we want to be able to see this. And then I'm using some of this gorgeous Splendid Autumn designer paper. I don't know if you've checked it out or not, but it's a 6 by 6 paper, and look at the beautiful scenery that it has on here. And I'm just using a section, and then this one's more, how about if I turn that right way? So I got a little pathway with beautiful fall colors, definitely autumn. And then the back sides are pretty basic. So there are lots of color combinations in there for you too. So with this one, I want to add this very beautiful little fall color foliage piece to the outside of the card, right here. Perfect. And again, I had 1/8 inch borders here. I don't have real wide borders. And then I'm going to use the more muted side of another piece to just give me some texture onto the basic. What did I do here? This is not cut right. This needs to be cut at 4 inches, 4 1/8. Okay, now it's there. So this will be right here, just matted on that piece that we cut off, that 2 3/4 inch piece that we cut off. Okay, so this is going to get turned from here to here. Now, you know me and dimensionals, so I want to dimensional this up. So I'm going to layer this right where I want it. Okay, that's where it's going to ultimately go, because I want to be able to find where it's not going to be attached at. Okay, so this is kind of like a way to line things up. I'm going to get some dimensionals, and we'll just get 4 of them because we don't want it to be showing on, on the inside. We just want to do this. But that's a good way to line up your 2 pieces and not have adhesive. Now you could just put adhesive on this, right? You don't have to use dimensionals, but you know me, I love my diamonds. But look at that nice, pretty paper. So you get this nice little, it's almost like a watermarky kind of a look to it, or sky, right? On that azure afternoon. And then I've already pre-cut a deckled circle in the azure afternoon and a stitched shaped circle, which I'm going to attach to each other. This is going to create my background for my focal point here. And then let's get some dimensionals on that. These are like, it's a good thing those are inexpensive, right? Because if they were as costly as real diamonds, not sure we'd be using as many of them, right? Now I'm going to just put this, stuck to my finger, right in the middle. Okay. Super easy card here so far. Then I'm going to get a piece of basic white cardstock and some Memento black ink and my Amaryllis outline. So this is where this 2-step's going to be getting showed out here, right? So we're going to get some black, and this is just the outline of the flower. Okay. Put that aside before I start wearing it all. And then I'm going to get some old olive and the leaves. So when you're 2-step stamping, doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It can be a little bit off. All artists paint a little differently, right? So just going to kind of layer over the top there. Perfect. It's not perfectly, but that's okay. It is handmade, and we want to have it look handmade. Not messy, but still handmade. And then there's the tops of the flowers come through. I like that this is a little bit of a distinctive stamp also. It gives you those highs and lows. I don't know if you can tell there or not, but so you have some dark and some light. So it's the way the stamp is made gives you that little bit of high-low texture. It's just not a solid. So the stamps have like almost like a hashing going on in there. So it creates that. And then this is Cajun Craze. I want to use for my petals. Get that lined up, and down we go. And voila. I mean, you have this beautiful flower with not a whole lot of work. That didn't really take much, but see, you can really tell on the Cajun Craze, the highs and the lows, that they just happen with the stamp itself. It's designed to look that way. So you have a little bit more variety. So let me get my little guy in here and get this lined up. So one thing I want to point out when you're using the small machine, the mini machine, is if you offset your layers, don't stack them all up. Give it a little bit of an offset there. And then we'll get our die on here. And that looks about right. And then the top plate, again, I'm spacing it down yet again. Let me see if I can get this on camera where it's not, so that it's like stepped. They're not all lined up together. And what that does is it makes it go into your machine like just super simply. I mean, come on. You saw that happen, right? No fighting with it. It especially once your plates start to warp a little bit with use, you'll find that this little trick really helps a lot. All right, so there's my flower. I think my camera is getting turned around here. Okay, and of course, this guy's going to have a couple of dimensionals too. We're going to just get one on the top and I'll get one on the bottom. I don't think I need any more than that. These things are pretty sticky. Did it come off? Yes. And we're going to put that right over the top here, right? And then I'm going to use one of these luscious little gold leaves. They're a fabric, and they're kind of sheer. Now you can color these with blends. If you don't want it to be gold, you can add some additional color to it. But right now I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to get a glue dot. And again, I'm putting the element to the glue dot, not picking up the glue dot because they just stick to my fingers and roll around. And I'm just going to kind of slide that underneath that leaf right there. Just gives it that little bit of extra texture in lieu of the ribbon that I normally use. I like the fabric on the paper, whether it be ribbon or an element like this. It just gives you a little bit more richness. Now, for just a small strip of our basic beige, this is a newer color for us, but it's not really vanilla, but it gives you a nice light neutral. And my greeting. And just gonna go, thanks. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today and checking out my Artful Amaryllis card. I'm getting ink all over me. But thank you so much for stopping by. If anybody wants to leave a comment and then, private message me your mailing address, I'd be happy to mail you a Artful Amaryllis card. Wouldn't that be fun? And of course, this is part of the fall mini catalog with Stampin' Up. And I just trimmed those edges, gave it a little bit of pizzazz, but nothing too drastic there. And of course, I'm going to grab one more dimensional here. And I'm going to put it just off to the side to balance out my card a little bit. And thanks, right? But again, we can just do a little bit more bling, and we can use these great faux glass dots. Love it. They're kind of like a, they're not shiny. They're kind of like a matte finish. I know they kind of look shiny, but they're not. They're more of like a translucid looking color. But let me grab a couple of those. Just gonna grab, let me use this color. Let's get a big one and a little one. And we'll do one more little one over. Yeah, I think I'll do it right there. Just a little bit of extra gems, right? But look how easy that two-step stamp really gives it a little bit of a bang for your buck there, right? And you can color combination this, lots of different colors, right? So here's a couple more that I made with some of the paper in just different color paper color combinations. This is crushed curry, but I still use the same two colors on my flower, but I have some different colored paper here. And then this one is with mossy meadow paper, and then a nice little sunset scene going on in the background here. And again, those little gems just kind of like pop up there, right? But aren't those just, it's a beautiful, simple stamp set and bundle. And like I said, the dies have endless possibilities for creating some three-dimensional type looking flowers also. You could pop those up in a little flower pot or on the front of a package. That would be really pretty too, right? But you guys, thank you so much for visiting with me today. I really enjoyed sharing a pretty simple fall card for you, a little bit of a fun fold. And I hope you have a stamp happy day. And please come back. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when I have more fun cards to share with you. You guys have a great day. Bye now.